let's talk about the money system. This reality has created a matrix money system that keeps you looping in lack. It's meant to keep you in the space of not quite having enough. It's meant to give you just enough to survive, but not enough to actually live, right? It doesn't matter. I can't even tell you how many people I have talked to who say, when I make more money, then I just spend more money, right? Isn't that the way of the world, right? We've all heard that. You make more money, you spend more money. Matrix system has tied our money up in a series of commitments, constructs, limitations to keep you in a space where you are literally recycling these little tiny bits and pieces that this reality will give you, not understanding that the true space of wealth is actually available to you. Did you know that less than 3% of our population is in control of over 95% of our wealth? That's totally by design. There are 7.9 billion people on this planet, and there are 788 billionaires. You could never spend $1 billion in your lifetime. Yet there are 788 people who are making money off you right now. These billionaires, these are the people who have created the system and the people who are literally making money off you right this very moment. Every time you swipe your credit card, every time you deposit money, you are giving the bank system rights to your funds. What control do we have over this? Let me share with you today how you can regain your sovereignty over the money system that this reality has instilled, this matrix system, to give you power, and your control back. This is your given right as a being here. You are entitled to wealth. Every time I run these clearings with people, people literally have money show up for them. Even go back, let's just look at lifetimes ago. You have ties somewhere in the money system. And when you clear your space, what happens is the money system has to give back to you. Because right now, the money system has all of the places that it owes you money, all looped into all of these points of views and viewpoints and belief systems, right? And it's out there, it's in the ethers, but you don't have control over it. They say that there's literally trillions of dollars unaccounted for in this reality right now. Trillions. Breathe that through for a moment. It's a lot of money. I have a new masterclass coming out this week with 3 recorded calls. Number 1, revoking the banking system. Okay. Here we're going to take back control of our money. We are going to revoke the places that we gave the banking system control over our money and truly over our life. Between mortgages and car payments and loan payments, do you own anything in your life? Credit cards. The mortgage system is literally so broken, right? You pay $200,000 for a house and you borrow that money at 6% interest. You're actually paying $431 and I'm sorry, $431,000 and 680, more than 2 times the original loan amount. Even if you loaned it at 7%, you're basically going to be paying almost $50,000 more. So $200,000 mortgage, and you're going to be paying almost $432,000 for that loan. Have you ever done a mortgage? Oh my God, it's complete craziness, isn't it? You have to sign your name like 700 times, and don't worry about what any of that says, right? Just sign the paper. We've all been there, right? Do you have any idea what you're signing your name to? How about buying a car? Have you ever bought one of those and financed it? It's like the same, right? It's 700 pages of sign here, and don't worry about what that says. Or sign here, this says blah, 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 right? They give you like a little rundown of what it says. Just sign it, right? And credit cards, forget about it. What exactly are you agreeing to with those pages and pages and pages of terms and conditions that you have to scroll down forever, right? Have you ever read any of that fine print? They send you that in the mail and it's like, 25 pages of terms and conditions. And then every once in a while, they send you a new terms and conditions in the mail, right? And it's another like, oh, we've changed our terms and conditions. And if you're a card holder, right, you just get grandfathered into the new terms and conditions. Same even with a debit card. Even though you're accessing your own money between fees and interest rates, the banking system has invoked all kinds of things within your universe just by you using that. So call number 1, we're going to go deep into revoking the banking system's access to you. We are going to clear the commitments, the oaths and agreements, the signatories, right? All the times you signed your name to something, all of the binds, all of that, everywhere where it's binding you into this legal document, everywhere you agreed to allow the banking system access to you, and everywhere the banking system has any power or control over you. We're going to let all of that go in that first call. Just yesterday, I kid you not, I got a message from a client who has done my old money clearing clearing program, who is literally to this day still always getting bill discounts from like basically all the utility companies that she deals with. Okay, so yesterday she actually sent me a screenshot of her water bill that she hasn't paid in 2 months, and the bill was like $30. There was a mysterious credit. She had messaged me because she said, "Oh, look at what I just created," and she was reminding me that she seems to receive this mysterious credit at least once every 3 months. She has lived at her residence now for like a little over 3 years and has not one time paid for 12 months of water. She did my Money Bootcamp, which I don't have available anymore. I think it was maybe 2016 or 17 that I did the Magic Money Bootcamp. And in that boot camp, I did a whole bunch of these clearings around revoking like the banking system and all the things that a lot of the things I'm doing here in this class here. But ever since, it has been creating tons of magic for her. And I tell you, I get people who have taken those older programs who still tell me, I'm listening to them again, for the 900th time, and still getting consumer powers credits or electric credits, phone bill credits. I just had somebody message me. I want to say wasn't that long ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And basically she got like 6 months of phone bills for free, and they actually paid her. She switched phone companies to a different phone company. They gave her like 6 months for free, and they gave her all kinds of brand new free phones. And she was telling me like, how amazing is this? Like, this system must have owed me. And that's what happens when we clear out the system, is we give it a chance to pay you back. Because let me tell you what, I guarantee that you have overpaid fees somewhere in your universe. So when you clear this stuff out, you give the system a chance to back pay you for everything that it owes you. So that's super exciting. So call number 1 is clearing out the banking system, or revoking the banking system. Call number 2 is clearing the constructs of poverty consciousness. Okay, in this call, I'm going to go really deep to clear those places where you have agreed to live in lack. And you may be thinking, what? Why would I agree to live in lack? Well, I mean, look around you. Are you living in abundance and money's just flowing to you with ease? Because if not, then you definitely have agreements to lack. And here's the thing, I want to go back to, the places we sign our name, and just think about this. How many lifetimes have you been alive, right? Now, I know many of us, and I was just talking about this recently, but I did a radio show a couple weeks ago called, I think it was called The Weird Right Now. Yeah, the weird right now. And I was talking about how basically, this is like our first lifetime ever really living with modern conveniences, right? So just think about how many lifetimes you've been embodied. We all know you've been embodied at least more than once. Most of us have been embodied an upwards of 50 plus times. Okay, probably closer to 100 or 200 times, really, truly. Okay, you've been embodied here on the earth. And even if we just say you've only been embodied 50 times, you spent 49 lifetimes living in lack, right? Because we were living in times where, we were limited. You may have had some royalty times, I don't know. But even most of us, I feel like most of us that lived in any type of royalty in any way, shape, or form, something happened during that time frame. And tied us into where we're at right now, right? We're not royalty today, so that means something has changed in our universe, right? And essentially, we made a lot of agreements, and many of those, if we think about even back in the time when we had when people were getting murdered for having wealth, where when people had, nice things or, plenty of, let's say, cattle to live on, and you had a, nice little family home, and you were, doing well for your life, I mean, even just think back to, the 1600s, somebody could break into your house and, kill your whole family and steal everything from you. And imagine the desperation that that would put you in. Many of us have a lot of commitments and a lot of places where we have invoked poverty into our lives because of a situation that's happened to us. Maybe we had a lot of wealth at one point in our life and something bad happened and we said, oh, what is one of the things that we're always convinced of? They're always saying money's the root of all evil, right? And I know many of us have probably worked on that viewpoint at some point, but that was a viewpoint that was pretty heavily projected at us for a long time, right? Money doesn't grow on trees, and money can't. Many of us grew up and our parents didn't really want to spend money on us. There wasn't money for that. There wasn't, money for you to have that. There wasn't money for you to do fun things, right? And so we grew up in this not enough, not enough, not enough paradigm, and then you take all of the old lifetimes on top of that, and we're literally entrenched in poverty consciousness, in this place where there is not enough for you. And so we're going to clear all of that. So, and really invoke the energies of wealth and ease and abundance into our field. Okay. Yeah, we're going to give a space for that. And then call number 3 is clearing the polarity system around money. So this is everywhere. Basically, this is all the goods and the bads and the rights and the wrongs and everything that we have decided money means to us. So many of us, and I know me personally growing up, my mom had a viewpoint that rich people were evil, right? They were mean. And so I went into resistance of rich people, right? And if somebody was rich, it was like, I can't be around that person. I actually, I don't remember if I actually told this story recently or not, but there was a time in my life where I started to really realize how the polarity system, what I thought about money, was really creating the way that money was showing up in my life. And I did this exercise, and this is one of the things that we will actually be doing as well, is really looking at all of the things that I wouldn't do for money. Right now, let's just say, if you look at somebody who is a stripper for money, okay, and you think, oh, gross, strippers are gross, and I'm just using this as an example because this was something that actually happened to me in my life. And you start going into, you have a lot of points of views about that, or maybe your parents had a lot of points of views about, that concept. What happens is when you decide, let's say, like a stripper's, yucky and bad and wrong, you can never receive from somebody who has ever been a stripper in your life. In their life, I'm sorry. So if you decide people who make a lot of money are bad and wrong, you can never receive from someone who makes a lot of money. If you decide that, I don't know, doctors are terrible, awful people, you can never receive from a doctor. Now that includes, like, let's say if you ever decide to sell something, let's say you're selling, I don't know, candles on Facebook. And so everybody that you have decided are bad and wrong, terrible, and I'm not saying you probably have a long list, but some of us have all these old storage spaces of, like, things that we have decided are bad and wrong. Let's even look at bank robbers, right? Now you might think, oh gosh, bank robbers are terrible people. Somebody who would rob a bank is a terrible person. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to, like, be best friends with someone who would rob a bank, or all of these points of views that you have, but you can't be in resistance of them, because when you're in resistance of them, you actually stop yourself from receiving from them. And the thing is the more people you have stopped yourself from receiving from, the less lines of receive you're able to receive, right? So if you have a ton of points of views, and I know for myself, there was a time in my life when I was in my late teens, early 20s, and I was a cashier at a grocery store, right? And some people really made me angry, right? I had lots of points of views about some people. I will be the first to admit that, you know. And I started categorizing people into different things, and I started, well, this type of person makes me mad, or the coupon mom angers me, or whatever it is. I only went through that phase for a short time, but you feel me, right? Like, we all have these, places where we have set up these systems. So what we want to do here in this third call is we're going to really look at all of these places where we have decided certain things about certain people, and about money, what money means to you, and about what people who have money mean to you. And we're going to clear all of that out of there so you can receive from everyone and everything. So those are the 3 recorded calls that are going to go in this series, and then it's going to have 3 live calls. 3 calls where you can join me. And I'm doing this in a very short time because I'm looking at, really adding to my library right now. And one of the things I'm very aware of, and I get a lot of people asking me questions like, I just want help with this one thing. Can you just help me with this one thing? I'm always referring people to my big program, or to this program or this program. And they're like, no, but I just want help with this one thing. And I don't really have select one thing. So I'm going to make a whole bunch of little master classes, if you will, of select one things. So this first one is going to be money, and we're going to go fast. Okay. So we're going to have the 3 pre-recorded calls, and it's going to have 3 live calls. And I am doing the 3 live calls 3 days in a row. That doesn't mean that you have to attend all 3 calls. I'm kind of doing 3 days in a row so I can get different people at different times. Or if you can make all 3 of them and you want to make all 3 of them, that's fine too. You can do that as well. But you don't have to. But essentially, I want to do live, because I'm going to do live facilitation. So if you join me on the live call, you might be chosen to actually, for me to actually look at your universe and see what kind of wonky and weird points of views do you have about money. And not to pinpoint you or make you wrong in any way, shape, or form, but to understand that we all have all kinds of wonky and weird points of views about money, okay? And if you have a wonky and weird point of view about money, the thing that I found with people is we all have slightly different variations, but one person is standing in, we might all have very similar ones, but one person might be standing in one that's a lot louder than another person. And although the other person might have that same one, right, theirs isn't as loud. And when I clear it for the one person, it clears it for everybody listening. Okay, so I want to do live facilitation with a whole bunch of different people who have, and maybe this is even something that, like you're thinking maybe like, it doesn't matter how much money I make, I can't ever save any. Or maybe it's, every time I get a lot of money, something bad happens and I have to spend it all. I was literally just talking to somebody about this the other day. She was telling me like, here I got all this money, and then, the sub pump went out, and then the car went out, and then, and basically all of it went away. And she was telling me how, no matter how much money I make, it always seems like it's never enough. And so I want to get into all of your universes, and I really want to look at what money points of views are you holding on to that we can clear for you. That's going to help everybody who listens to the call to truly create something different. You guys, listen, the money system is falling, and it's falling right now. It's time to release yourself from within it. You don't want to go down with that sinking ship. Okay, because that's what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to take us all down with them. You do not want to go down with that sinking financial ship. It's time to change this now. So again, it's going to have 3 pre-recorded calls. The 3 pre-recorded calls are revoking the banking system. The second call is clearing the constructs of poverty consciousness, and the third call is clearing the polarity system around money. Now, this call series is going to be next week. It is going to go, just like I said, it's going to go pretty fast. But it will be for sale afterwards. So if you get in now, you can actually be part of the live calls, which is super exciting. And if you join later, you can still listen. So if you are on the live calls, you are going to, people are going to hear, but that's okay. Because again, if it's clearing it for you, it's clearing it for everybody. And this is really listening to somebody else get live facilitation is just such a gift to your body, because you can feel the energy moving. You can, sometimes it's if you've never received live facilitation, well, number one, you're going to feel it in your own body, but when you listen to somebody else getting it as well, you're going to feel it in your body. You're going to feel it, you're going to perceive it in their body, and it's going to make changes for you and for them. So it's really, truly an amazing contribution. So I would love to have you joining me on this call. You can actually go to the Conscious Empath Programs.com, and this is Clearing the Crap Around Money Masterclass. I would love to have you join me. And again, no matter when you're listening to this recording, you can join the program at any time. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.